Welcome to another edition of Shoot the Shit Saturday, brought to you by the Odds and Ends Gaming. Tonight, we have me, Ringleader, joined by Espionage DP7 and Obsolete 2003. Cool. And I'll go ahead and let Ed S take it away. So, what are you got going on, buddy?
Well, first of all, thank you for that intro. And yes, welcome to Shoot the Shit Saturday, where we talk about nothing, talk about everything. And I want to start us out by asking one important question. Have you seen Godzilla yet?
No, not yet.
God damn it. Alright.
Okay, so let's go touch the E3 news, shall we?
I got some topics on that.
No. I'm gonna leave this off here first. So today was actually, as of the day of this recording, was Nintendo did their E3 presentation, their treehouse and whatnot, which is at least the first day of it. And they had some very big news today. First off, they announced a sequel to their previous Legend of Zelda game, Breath of the Wild, which is pretty exciting actually, and reintroduces Ganondorf as a villain more than just a mid-series Cloud. Also, even bigger news in a way, they announced 2 DLC characters for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, the last character that was announced and released was Joker.
I have to say real quick, pardon the interruption, but and do not take this as an insult. I actually like it. I'm liking the almost reporter or anchor persona that you're taking.
Shut up. Get the fuck up. Anyways, but the big news to me personally was that they first off they announced the first character, which was the hero from Dragon Quest. But on a more personal note, which I thought was amazing, finally after all these fucking years, they announced that Banjo-Kazooie was to be on the roster list to be released in fall 2019.
The original Banjo-Kazooie?
Yes. The character, not the game.
Oh, fuck. I was like, I thought they were like remastering or re-releasing or something.
Okay, first off, shush. Because that's still big fucking news. Well, it took at least 15 years to get the character onto the damn game.
Okay, it's big news, but this is not the news I was hoping for. I love the original Banjo-Kazooie.
Okay, but I would not want a remaster. I want a new game. But that's just me.
Well, I mean, I fell
in love with... No remaster!
Why the hell not?
Because they already had a remaster on the Xbox. Anyways.
Did it? It had a remaster on the Xbox?
Yes!
Why didn't it have a remaster on the Nintendo system? It's a Nintendo game.
Because Microsoft owns it.
Microsoft owns Nintendo?
Microsoft owns Rare, which owns Banjo-Kazooie.
The studio.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
yeah,
so besides that, did y'all see the information on, was it Doom Eternal?
I will confess I've been picking up bits and pieces, puzzle pieces, and trying to piece them together as far as E3 goes, but I'm probably like the most out of the loop right now. I'm aware of Doom Eternal. I know it's the upcoming sequel to the original remaster of Doom, re-release, remaster, remake,
not a remaster.
Whatever.
It's not a release. It's not a remake. It's a brand new reboot. Anyways,
reboot. It's a re something, okay? And you're making me right now.
Good, Go ahead. Good. Honk. Anyways, but the cool thing about the game, I thought, was that the game is also being prepared to be released by id Software to be able to be played on a mobile phone.
What?
And we're not talking about a mobile port. An actual game on the software on a phone while being played with an Xbox controller. And it is an actual version.
Man, hey. Okay, wait, hang on. First of all, first of all,
he broke his brain.
I want to say, mobile. Who the fuck is going to want to play a Doom game with a controller? I can just see somebody on the bus, their fucking phone on their lap with a fucking controller, man. Man?
You do not know what this modern market demands or wants.
Do you?
And this is, well, apparently better than you because you have no fucking idea. Secondly,
okay, I remember Blizzard. I remember Blizzard.
Hold on. The game is playing not as a mobile game. It is not a mobile game. It is the full game
I
which is a
remember
monorail.
Blizzard's
That's-
little train wreck when they announced the next Diablo on mobile.
Current plan is to be on mobile, both Android and iOS. We don't have any plans at the moment to do PC. Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
What, you
First
guys
off,
don't have
they
mobile?
just listen to a fucking thing I said. I said it's not a mobile game. It is literally the game.
It's a game on
the
mobile.
same day. Shut the fuck up. It's the same game that you play on PC that you play on console will be the same exact game because it uses a certain type of streaming in order to stream the data into the phone and in order for the phone to play it as if you were playing on a console or on a computer. There is no frame rate loss. There's none of that. It's very, very well done in terms of that. At least from what we've seen on the E3 presentation.
Well,
Todd Howard, you did it in. Now let's go to Skyrim. Anyways.
did you just say Todd Howard? You did it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
Well,
go ahead.
I'm
By the way,
care
they're
to get a
fixing
word.
Fallout. They're fixing Fallout, by the way.
I'm gonna touch on Fallout in a bit, but you know what? Hobbs has been just kind of sandwiched between us here. He hasn't gotten a word in edgewise, so.
No.
Wait, what? What's going on?
Say something. Like,
Oh, the Doom game looks pretty badass. I'm not sure whether or not I'd play it on the phone, from what you're describing, but I'll probably definitely get it on PC.
Yeah.
Is it going to be like an additional charge to play it on PC or on the phone, or is it going to be like one of those?
They're going to be using a software that they're developing called Odin.
it sounds like a
Which
mirror of some kind.
Odin, which is like a distribution service, just like Steam, which is enabled to be downloaded and streamed in real time to devices, including phones. So you're basically playing on a screen that's downsized, but still maintaining 60 frames per second, whatever resolution. It's just you're on the go, just like if you're on a Switch. To add to that real quick, because we're on Bethesda right now. Fallout is being fixed. I'm not talking about Fallout 4. I'm talking about Fallout 76.
Yeah, with the fucking battle royal, I fell into a burning ring of stupidity. That thing just
not
looks.
what I'm talking about.
Well,
but anyways,
that looks so stupid.
they're finally including something they should have done from the beginning was including NPC
Yeah. So here's the thing about that. I did see that. And it got a roarous round of applause. And I'm like,
Oh shit! Oh, you just reminded me the fake, people were clapping and screaming in the front row, which were obviously disciples of Todd Howard, hired in order to praise, lavish praise upon that which is Bethesda, because nobody has forgotten Fallout 76 apparently.
no, well, that's my point, is people were cheering for things that should have been included in the goddamn game from the beginning. And people have been like, fix Fallout 76, fix Fallout 76. And the answer to that, you want Battle Royale? Here's Battle Royale. Who the hell... Okay, first of all, I think the Battle Royale phase is starting to dwindle. From what I've seen, from what I've heard, from what I've observed, Apex Legends lost a majority of its player base in the past 6 months. Fortnite is not what it used to be. I don't even hear shit about Player Unknown Battlegrounds, whatever the hell that thing is called. So I'm pretty sure that whole thing was a phase and it's starting to fizzle out. So what does Fallout do? Trying to keep up with the fads, coming in like right after them. It introduces Battle Royale, and it's kind of like at this point, Fallout 76 is a burning building, and it's just a husk now. It's like it's not even worth put it out, but it's not even worth trying to save. It's not savable anymore.
It's cash grabs. Plain and simple.
Well,
Because I did see that too. They're calling it the year 1 anniversary. We got a treat for you guys for year 1 anniversary. We're gonna add NPCs with story missions that you can do, and it's like, shouldn't that have been there in the first place?
Well, and then I'm talking about Todd Howard. I'm gonna bring this up. I did see a recent interview he had, and you could hear the the disappointment in his voice. He was talking about how there are players out there still playing Skyrim, still playing Fallout 4, still playing some of the older Fallout games, still playing some of the older Elder Scrolls games, and yet they're not quote unquote engaged with these players. Engaged means he don't have his hands in your pockets. You know, it's like, you know, we made a game and we released it and you bought it and now you're done with us. No, that can't be. We need to have a way to keep you on the hook. And that whole games as a service thing, I hate it. I really do. And me and Ops have actually discussed this, and I told him, because he likes to own physical copies of games. And I think that's going to be, in the next 10 years, that's going to go the way of the dodo, I'm sad to say.
Mm.
Yeah, I personally like to have physical copies. I liked to own my games and not necessarily be streamed or like a game service, online content, or not, streaming services. It's like, those are cool and all and convenient, but at the same time, it's like I like to know that I own this product. It's mine, and I can do with it what I like.
Fair enough.
So, you guys are more well versed in E3 news than I am. Like I said, mainly the main thing I'm familiar with or that I've heard of was Fallout. I don't know how big of a platform they had at E3, but I will mention again, I know that they released some new trailers for Borderlands 3. I'm excited about Cyberpunk 2077. I'm excited.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, I saw that.
You're all breathtaking because Keanu Reeves loves us all.
Well, I saw a fucking meme that started circling around, saying that Chuck Norris is no longer the most interesting guy in the world. Now it's Keanu Reeves or some shit like that. Like the keys were being passed or the torches being passed or something. Although I haven't heard Chuck Norris jokes or anything in a while, but it's like, okay.
Well, the thing is that 2019 is the year of Keanu Reeves. He's proven to be the most human celebrity there is. He is down to earth. There's people who've seen him in person who agree that he is a genuine person. You know, he's one of the few relatable people that is a celebrity.
I've heard that too, and you know, that's cool. I mean, a lot of they're these larger than life characters, but more than that, you know, they have like this status in their own heads that, you know, don't let them mingle with the commoners. And yeah, I have heard that the people, you know, been able to just walk up to him on the street or, you know, snap pictures of him just in the park or whatever. There's that sad Keanu picture.
He rides on the bus, and if somebody is standing up and it's a lady or whatever, he'll stand up for them to take their seat or take his seat. He's a genuine person.
Just don't ever kill his dog.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Another E3 news.
Yes.
And Ash should look this up. Have y'all seen any other information on Final Fantasy VII?
I heard about that. It's like the most famous Final Fantasy and it's being remade, right? Isn't that the one with Cloud Strife?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's being remade from the ground up.
Now ring. Wait. Ring banana phone. Yeah, I was gonna say now, is this a reboot, a remake, a remaster, a relaunch, a repeat, a recycle?
A remake.
Okay.
Remake.
So that one's a remake, but the Banjo-Kazooie was neither a remaster or... Anyway, go ahead.
It's just a character. Anyway, shut up. Final Fantasy VII is being broken into 2 games. The first one will be the first half of the game, up to Midgard to a certain point, and the second half will be the remainder of the game. But if any of our fans or any of our subscribers know that Final Fantasy VII is a very dated game. It was released in like 2001 or so, or 1999. It's very old and very dated by today's graphical standards. I mean, the characters are basically polygons.
Yeah.
But if you've seen any of the trailers, you know that, which they released yesterday, the game is, first off, beautiful. It fleshed out a lot of characters. Mr. T is playing one of the characters.
What the fuck?
I'm serious. Cloud Strife looks like more to what he appears in Advent Children, which is a movie. they downsized Tifa's boobs. Long story.
That's a major mechanic, good talking point of the game. They
But
downsized
it's no longer a traditional turn-based RPG. It's now an action RPG, just like Final Fantasy 15. That's how it works.
put your moves. You have your sequences of moves and stuff like that. It's not like
Right, but now
you stop.
But now it's real-time action, so your character goes as he does.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was awesome. I'm looking forward to it personally. I did play Final Fantasy VII. I got to the second half of the game. I never beat it, but that's just me. But I do recognize it as one of the greatest games there is.
I think I got to the last boss fight, and then for whatever reason, I just did not fight. I think it was like the very, very last boss fight, and it was the build up. It was like the last save right before going into it. I just stopped right there for whatever reason.
What the fuck?
Keep going.
First of all, I have to say I'm very surprised that you played Final Fantasy. It just doesn't strike me because I've never heard you mention it at all, like any Final Fantasies, like ever. So I'm surprised. And second of all, I just want to say that does sound pretty cool. I myself have never played a single Final Fantasy game, but obviously they got such a huge cult following. I know that that's the game. One of them, I don't know which one, is the one that saved Square Enix, because Square Enix was fixing to go out of business, and that game basically saved them. So, yeah, I know that they have such a huge, and it's not a cult following; it is a legitimate, legion of, fan nation. So, I mean, but that's cool.
Of the different E3s that I was watching, of the crowd reactions and everything, I think so far Final Fantasy got the most reaction from the crowd, just up in arms, just like, I don't know, their reactions is like this. It was genuine. It's like, I am hyped for this. This is the shit.
I've seen a lot of meme videos.
The way they started is Square Enix. The way they started their thing, it was the Final Fantasy load screen. It was like, continue new game, and it was like remaster or whatever it is called right now, and everyone was just erupting when they selected that. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I've seen like all these. Hang on, I just want to get this out real quick. I've seen all these videos of like the world like erupting and like the fucking flowers blooming and rockets going into space and just the world just changing miraculously when Half-Life 3 is announced, which will never happen. My Half-Life 3 will never see the light of day, and I am sad. Press F for respects.
no.
Damn it!
But it's coming out. I know Final Fantasy VII is coming out next year.
Yes.
And a lot of the Nintendo projects are coming out this year as well. Breath of the Wild sequel is not coming out until next year, I believe. They did announce that they were working on that. There's no news on Metroid Prime 4, which is kind of strange, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. And I know that Microsoft had a fairly big day. They announced Halo Infinite, which is essentially Halo 6. And I think there was a Gears announcement as well.
Microsoft games on Steam.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
to
it.
both points. Yes, there is a new Gears game in the works.
Okay. And I do know that they were working on Age of Empires 4. Yay. And Sony has been mysteriously absent from this year's E3.
Yes, well, they said quite a while back, though, that they weren't going to do a part of E3, that they're going to do their own standalone thing at their time.
SonyCon or something.
Sony's just trying to pull Nintendo Treehouse, but even Nintendo jives along with E3.
Well, I mean, Blizzard has their own BlizzCon.
Yeah.
Do they still have BlizzCon?
Yes.
Well, anyway, just from me, real quick, this is the last point I'm going to make on this. You guys can keep at it, but I'm just going to say the games I'm excited for most are Outer Worlds, looks awesome, Cyberpunk 2077, Borderlands 3, and I think that's about it. I mean, there's plenty of good-looking games. I can say fuck Fallout 76 with a red hot poker, because I'm still pissed that I paid $60 for a game that was essentially shit. I don't care what kind of roadmap they lay out for the game. I don't care if they're gonna introduce golden power armor that fucking, I mean, I can't even make an analogy. It's just stupid. Fuck that game. But yeah, I'm I'm looking forward to those three, and primarily those three. At least those are the ones I have on my radar.
Right.
So, I'm sorry, Abji, were you gonna say something?
Oh no, just I've been following it pretty good, and just I don't know if we have a certain format in regards to the E3 coverage, but I've been watching pretty good, and I know right now we're just talking about Square Enix and Final Fantasy again. That was the only Final Fantasy I ever really played, the original, and I've been looking very forward to the remaster. So I'm super hyped for that one. It's early 2020. They have different packages you can pre-order, and there's one that's like super expensive. Apparently, it comes with the cloud on a motorcycle, and that one's like ridiculously expensive.
A canvas back.
Yeah. I know that there is going to. Well, first off, almost every Final Fantasy game is being ported to the Switch. Just a heads up.
Yes.
Which is amazing. There's another Legend of Zelda being re-released, which was Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, which is a re-release of a classic. And then, which should be pretty awesome in its own way. I feel like, this year may seem pretty lackluster, but they're making some fairly large announcements for some old classics. So I think this is a retro year.
Atari's rolling out a new system. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but just to mention to what he said, I heard something about Atari rolling out a new retro console of some kind.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, the popularity of the classic Nintendo Mini, it really kind of set a trend.
Yeah.
But in regards to some of the future games coming out, staying on Square Enix, they have a new game, Outriders, coming out sometime in 2020. It's the same people who made Bulletstorm and one of the Gears of War game.
I love Bulletstorm. It was just too short.
It looks like pretty much along the same concept. It looks like it's gonna be either 3 or 4 player co-op. Looks pretty badass, and that one's coming out. Yeah.
There's a game coming out that when I did a Switch, I'll probably have to arrange a desktop session with us, because they're re-releasing the Mana collection of Mana, which is a collection of the original games, the Secret of Mana, Charles Mana, and Secret of Mana 1, and so that game was fun because Secret of Mana 2 had a 3-player co-op, which was unheard of at the time because it was Super Nintendo. But there was a adapter where you can play 3 controllers at the same time, and that game will be very fun for Fallback Friday, which is out now. Just need a Switch, so that way we can do a 3-way. And yeah, it's a long game though, so it won't be a single Fallback Friday.
I have a Switch.
Oh, you do? Yes. It's in the store right now.
He's talking about a switchblade. He's gonna cut your throat. No, I'm just kidding.
God damn it!
That escalated quickly.
This asshole. Anyway, it's called Collection of Mana, and it's 3 games.
Nice. Again, the last highlight I guess that I have in regards to Square Enix. Did either of you see the new Avengers game that's coming out?
Oh yes, yes, I did see that. That's another one that I'm excited for it. I want to play it. It looks fun. It even has its own unique. It seems like it has its own unique twist on the characters, while at the same time, it almost seems like it blended the comic book versions and the movie versions into a new, unique hybrid of the characters. I don't know. That's kind of what I took, but I liked it. It looks cool. I'm definitely looking forward to that one as well. So 4 games that I'm excited about.
And it's either you can play single player, you can play it multiplayer, co-op wise. They said all the content going forward is going to be completely free in regards to new stories, new whatever that they're gonna. It sounds like this is something in regards to the Marvel's Avengers game that they're gonna invest a lot of time in keeping it up to date, and not just let it go stagnant.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one too. So yeah, we're definitely keep an eye out, and I wanna make a little announcement here. My computer, I always believe in naming my shit. My computer was named Echelon X, and I recently got a brand new motherboard, freaking RAM, processor, graphics card, and solid state drive, and it is now.
You basically built a new computer.
Yes, The only thing that's the same is the case, and it is now Echelon X version 2.0. Powerful machine.
I built it. I built it.
Indeed.
FYI.
Indeed, he did. But yes, I now have a machine capable of running the newer modern games I recently picked up or got as a complimentary gift with some of these components. World War Z and the Division 2, so I plan to sink my teeth into those a little bit more. But yeah, that was my little announcement. And if you guys got nothing else on E3, I do have a couple of things I want to say, and this is actually in regards to some segments that a segment that we've been kind of doing as part of our Shoot the Shit Saturday segment, and that is our question of the week. So to our viewers, our subscribers, our watchers, I do want to say that if you have any questions that you want to ask us, doesn't matter what, doesn't have to be game related, but just anything at all, leave a comment below. We'll be happy to answer it and talk about it. But this week's question of the week again comes from Mr. Michael Coffey, our channel mascot, and he asks us, what is the scariest video game you ever played, and did you like it? And I have an answer for that already. If I'll give you guys time to think about it, but my answer to that is, bar none, Amnesia: The Dark Descent. And yes, I loved it, but I've only played it once because once is enough. That game, the reason that game was so frightening to me and so terror instilling is because of the fact that you don't have a way of defending yourself in that game. Unlike other horror games, you actually have a way of, fighting back, guns or knives or even holy water. I remember there was a vampire game that was considered a horror game back in the late 90s where you had like holy water and crucifix as a way of defending yourself. You don't have a way of defending yourself in this game. You just have to kind of creep around, hide, and even the darkness itself is against you because it makes you go crazy. So by far, Amnesia: The Dark Descent, my scariest game. I loved it, brilliantly done. It had some very, very chilling tales of witchcraft and torture that were very, very disturbing. But yes, that's my favorite horror game, and it's the scariest horror game I've played. And yes, I love it. So who wants to go next?
Ring.
Scariest game will probably be. I really hadn't beat it because it was on a certain someone's computer or thing.
Because you didn't beat it because you were scared.
No, because it was on her computer. Alien Isolation. But I've seen videos and experienced enough gameplay to know that the game has a shit ton of suspense, and that's enough to get me going.
Did you like it?
I liked it. I really did. I wish I actually had. I wish certain things didn't happen. I could play it some more, but here we are.
When's your birthday?
August 14th.
It's coming up. Maybe I'll get it for you.
All right.
To piggyback on what he was saying, because what's one of the cool things in regards to Alien Isolations, I own it for the PS4, and there is a feature with the PlayStation camera where if you enable it while you're playing the game, you can do certain visual commands, as well as the microphone will pick up on you. So if it's like a stealth thing where you're hiding from the alien, and for whatever reason, if you cough, sneeze, whatever, the alien will hear you, it will track you down, and it will kill you.
That is pretty nuts. That's crazy. That sounds cool. So we gotta play that.
If you're in the standing by a corner and you're trying to look to around the corner, the camera will pick up you looking around the corner. It is a feature you can turn on or off. I did have it on briefly. It got me killed, so I shut it off after that.
Well, that sounds like a cool game. I've heard of this game, and I've actually heard some polarizing things, but that sounds like a really neat feature.
It is a game where you cannot beat the enemy. You have almost no weapons. It is purely survival, and there's no vehicles. There's no whatever. The game really fucks with you.
Yes.
I want to check this game out now. But anyway, how about you, Obs? What's your scariest game?
Horror is my thing. I love horror games. I'll do a 2 just because they're both equally good. Well, for me, I'll always like Resident Evil 2, but it wasn't really too scary. But at the time when it first came out, I was much younger, and the parts where you're getting hunted by Mr. X, and the way it just kept popping out of the walls and actually breaking the walls, kind of like Kool-Aid Man.
Oh yeah!
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But the first game, when you said that question, the first game that popped in my head was Silent Hill, the original Silent Hill. That game was just, I mean, I remember playing the demo.
I remember the fog of that game. I
Yes.
played that game several times at a friend's house, and I remember the fog was really fucking disorienting and creepy. So I hear you on that.
And in addition to the fog was when you get the radio and the static starts picking up when something's about to get on your ass, and that's always freaked you out because you weren't quite sure what was coming at you. You couldn't quite see it, but the moment your radio started getting louder and louder, it's like, fuck, what's coming? And then sure enough, there it was, and there you are with like a board trying to defend yourself. And I don't know, that game just sticks out to me the most in regards to horror. I did beat that game, and it just sticks in my head. It was so well done.
Well, you know what? The funny thing is that Mike, when he asked me that question, he actually gave me his answer, and I'm gonna read it here for you verbatim. And he said, "For me, the answer is, and yes, I did like it. The answer is Silent Hill 1 and 2. The atmosphere was amazing. The fog intense and easy to get lost in. Those sirens, both scary, and it meant that it was your ass. And the ammo and weapons is so limited, it made the Resident Evil franchise look like Contra with up-down cheat code enabled. Plus Silent Hill 2 had triangle head, and that fucker was scary, rapey, and killy. Just all kinds of nightmare shit. So seems like Silent Hill has quite a few votes in this one.
Yes.
Wow. Silent Hill had environment. That's what it was. So
It's that ambience.
yeah.
All right. So I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, fixing to wrap things up here. I have 2 last things to say, and it's something that's become kind of tradition, and I do want to attribute this to you, Ring, because you're the first one that recognized a YouTuber on one of our earliest shoot the shits, and I think it's a really good idea. And again, I think it's another great way to engage with our audience, and that's where we do a shout out to an indie game and a shout out to a fellow YouTuber that we want to bring some attention to. So for anybody who is watching and who is subscribed, if you have a YouTube channel that you want to kind of get some free advertisement, it might not be a lot of great advertisement because we ourselves are a young up and start channel ourselves, but you know what, there's nothing wrong with free advertisement. So if you have or want to give some love to a YouTube channel, leave us a comment, and we'll definitely be glad to shout you out. But this week I want to give a shout out to Gray Games. He's a YouTuber who's checked out some of our streams. I actually noticed him on some of our Dead by Daylight streams, and he is a gamer, a YouTuber whose predominant focus is on Dead by Daylight gameplay. I've checked out his channel.
Is that GREY or
GRA Games? And I will put a link in the description below to his channel. But I've seen him do tutorials, general information, and gameplay on Dead by Daylight. So yeah, definitely head over to his channel, give him some love. And again, if you want your channel shouted out, just leave us a comment and we'll be happy to do it. And I have one last thing to say, but I'll leave the floor open for a bit, to see if anybody else has anything else they want to say before I finish off.
No. Entendre.
For me personally, it's just again, just kind of circling back to E3. I'm definitely looking forward to the especially beginning 2020. A lot of good games are be coming out. Final Fantasy VII, Cyberpunk. That one's coming out later.
Borderlands 3, Outer Worlds.
Yeah. So yeah, this year Borderlands 3. I'm not sure about Outer Worlds.
Dying Light 2.
Dying Light 2 is 2020. But yeah, there's just a lot of new good games that are coming out. Some of the old games that are being brought back to life and being ported. So it's definitely a good time for gaming right now.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Alright, and the last thing that we are going to leave with is a shout out to our indie game of the week. Me and Obs actually have a video up already for a game called Will to Survive, and I actually was fairly impressed. It was only about an hour and a half video, but it was actually not Will to Survive. I'm sorry. Will to Live? It's Will to Live, right? Not Will to Survive. Well, at any rate, yeah, it's called Will to Live Online. it'd be good if I actually knew the name of the game, right? And it's by AlphaSoft LLC, and it is a post-apocalyptic MMORPG style game. I was really impressed from the get-go with the game because it starts you off with this really well-done comic book motion comic intro that was very well done. And the game itself, you can tell that it's in its very early stages because the game itself is very barren.
Aren't we supposed to be wrapping this up?
That's what I'm doing.
It sounds like you're just going further into more exposition about a game instead of actually wrapping it up.
I am wrapping up with the exposition of the game. Let me do my thing. I open the floor to you. God damn it.
All right. Well, we are gonna go ahead and close it out here.
Hey! Don't trample my wrap up.
I'll trample your wrap up.
No.
So, anyways,
Will to Live. Will to Live Online by AlphaSoft LLC. Really cool game. I'll link it on the description below. Will to Live Online. Check it out. It's our indie game of the week. But again, anyway, comment below if you have a YouTube channel that you want to be linked to and bring to settle down. But yes, I have been Espionage DB7.
I'm Breeder064.
Now obsolete 2003.
And this has been On the Edge Shoot the Shit Saturday.
So
Peace.
yeah.
They're all a bunch of dudes. Mainly Ring.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.